Before we start this video, I wanted to say I would not like any hate comments or political talk in the comment section below. If you have anything to say that is an opinion that you believe in, that you have strong beliefs in, and you believe you're right, and it's something that you want to talk about or have a debate with someone else or with me, go ahead and put that down in the comments below. If it is something like keep politics out of sport or all lives matter, that's why I'm making this video, to educate you, honestly, to give you education. That's what we need to do, is to educate each other, educate ourselves, and so we can understand what's going on. Now, I'm going to be focusing on the sport of NASCAR here, but mainly I want to make sure that this is very well pointed out. I'm not saying NASCAR is to blame for any of this. What NASCAR as a sanctioning body has done from the president on down has been phenomenal in terms of diversity, in terms of recognizing what is going on in the world currently, in terms of standing with their drivers like Bubba Wallace. I'll get into that right now. Everything NASCAR has done has been phenomenal, and this is not an attack on them whatsoever. What we're going to do today in this video is to go through a lot of what I believe is still massive issues within the sport of NASCAR, which mainly goes around its fan base. The stereotypes that live on within NASCAR is still very real today. We had the incident with Kyle Larson earlier this year where he did make a mistake, and some people said it set us back a decade. Well, we have proof. I'm going to show you proof right now that there is still a lot of issues when it comes to racism within NASCAR and how that affects the general public view of NASCAR. Can it ever get away from the stereotype Southern sport that is notoriously just rich white old folks or rednecks and stuff like that, not allowing anyone else into the sport? That is the general conception of someone that does not understand what NASCAR is. If you are a minority, that is what you think it is. Rednecks going in circles and Confederate flags, pretty much. I would also like to state that I've been to Daytona. I've been to 500 multiple times. I didn't go this year. I've been to Homestead multiple times. I've been lucky enough to be invited personally by NASCAR and by certain industries that work with the NASCAR to go to these races, hot passes, go in the infield, everything, and it's incredible experiences. However, every time I walk into a racetrack, whether it be Homestead or Daytona, the first thing I usually see when I enter the infield, when you go through the infield of the Turn 4 tunnel at Daytona International Superspeedway, you come out and you see this beautiful infield, this beautiful racetrack, and the first thing you see to your right in the infield is the Confederate flag standing right along an American flag, and usually a Dale Earnhardt flag there as well. Funny enough, Dale Earnhardt did not like the Confederate flag. You go look up his opinions on the internet. He was not a fan of the Confederate flag being at racetracks. Now, I was not able to go to the 2020 Daytona 500. I was invited personally by NASCAR, but I just wasn't able to attend due to personal reasons. However, the last time I went in 2019, for the 2019 Daytona 500, I saw 8 Confederate flags, I think, in the infield. So we're going to educate ourselves here, and I'm going to explain why this needs to go and what kind of perception it's causing, and also you'll see when we go deeper into this. Again, I appreciate everyone's support, and if you want to unsubscribe because you think this is political, please go ahead and unsubscribe if you don't want to be educated or do not want your just to have an open mind. If you disagree with me in any way, if you disagree with anything I say, but you are willing to watch this entire video, and if at the end you still disagree, then leave a comment down below. If you want to unsubscribe after that, go ahead. I honestly, I don't care about subscription numbers. I haven't cared in a long time, to be honest. So if you want to have a genuine debate and you still disagree after this video, leave a comment down below. And if I happen to change your mind, let me know, and let's go through this. So first off, we're going to start with this tweet right here. This was tweeted on June 9th, 2020, 8:33 p.m. when Bubba Wallace was going to run a special paint scheme to honor Black Lives Matter. This is the paint scheme right here. It really contains no sponsorship, to be honest. It is just the Black Lives Matter paint scheme that is very well done and sends a strong message that will be running tonight at Martinsville. I want to go through some of the replies. This has a ton of likes, a ton of retweets, a ton of interactions. I don't have the numbers here to see the amount of interactions, but I would guess it's in the hundreds of thousands, maybe even in the millions. So we're going to go through some of this just so I could prove some of my point here. Obviously, a lot of these tweets, a lot of them are positive. You know, a lot of them go against other debates, but there's certain replies here that I want to point out where if you think racism or these beliefs do not exist in this sport, then they exist. And we're going to go through each and every single person, and I'm going to show you why the stereotypes are true. I really respect Bubba Wallace until he made this political. That is the number one issue I always see when it comes to someone disliking this movement or disliking anything that Bubba Wallace states or anything about this movement, is that this movement is political. This has nothing to do with politics. This has everything to do with human decency and human society and how African Americans are usually treated differently amongst the police and police brutality. That is 100% true. If you don't have that belief, I'll show you that every single one of these people are a certain age and a certain race, and they just have certain beliefs. And for some reason, those beliefs skew their mind. I'm not entirely sure, but this was a great response how NASCAR isn't allowed to be political. I guess politics is only okay when it's something you agree with, like the NRA, right? The NRA goes into NASCAR, but again, we don't want to make this about politics. I don't care about the NRA. I don't care about any of that. Right now, is this statement right here political? No, it's not. This is not political. This is about human society and human decency. And if you are literally willing to dislike a driver because they believe in something that is true, oh boy. Now, who is this Frankie guy? Old white guy. All right, let's just keep that in mind. Old white guy. Let's keep going. All lives matter, period. This is another one. Well, guess what? There's a perfect response here, too, for that. All lives matter, right? Okay, let's talk about this. So, actually, all lives matter. Of course, all lives matter, dude. The point of the phrase that Black Lives Matter being treated are being treated as expendable by the police and the government that employs them. If someone says save the rainforest, you don't respond actually save all forests, do you? Just because we need to save the rainforest doesn't mean either forests have no value. It's just one needs our focus right now because the situation has gotten out of control. I guess I never really thought of it like that. That's honestly how it is. Yes, all lives matter. That's fucking obvious. Yes, they do. All lives matter. But the point is, we're putting a focus on a truth here that Black lives, African Americans, are treated differently by the police and the government. When you look at employment rates, who gets employed, for example, the NFL, 1 black GM, 4 black head coaches in a sport that is predominantly African American dominated. Twitter account with the Confederate flag saying ugly car and raising the Confederate flag. This is one of my biggest points here is the Confederate flag. We're gonna get to that in a second. May he crash on the first lap because this person does not like the movement, and his profile picture is a tractor trailer. Won't be watching. NASCAR and politics can both kick my ass. Again, this is not politics. And unfortunately, you're too scared to show your face, Tammy, so I can't really prove my point there. Done with NASCAR. You will not get another dime from us. My Leo's life matters as well. Bye. All right, let's go check on Wendy. Yep, exactly what I thought. Of older age, white, nothing else. Lives in Mississippi, lives in the South. So, let's keep moving. You guys are dead to me. Again, another angry little guy. And again, I proved my point. Older age, white, there you go. That's the stereotype. When will we have a Police Lives Matter car? More ignorance, and again, as I state, older age, white, same thing. You're going to keep seeing the same thing over and over and over. From Martinsville, been big NASCAR fan since the mid-50s. Getting too politically correct now. I watch for the racing, not the politics. It has been a great ride, but I am done. Again, this has absolutely nothing to do with politics. And again, there it is. Old, white, lives in the South. So there you go. And the reason why I keep showing you guys this is because these are NASCAR fans. These are 100% NASCAR fans. And every single one that has an issue with this fits the stereotype. Oh, NASCAR fans are racist. Well, they're old and they're white. Notice they're not young and white. The younger generation is more informed. They're more educated. They understand. Every single one. Mid-50s. I mean, this man's been a race fan for, 70 years? And it's just the ignorance. They don't want to educate themselves because they're stuck in the past. The reason I'm going through all these replies is because this is very real amongst NASCAR fans. This is a very real problem within the specific sport of NASCAR. You could also say it's a problem in F1 because most F1 drivers are white. They have white privilege, but I'm not talking about diversity within the sport, which is actually funny because NASCAR, within the sanctioning body of NASCAR, everyone who works within NASCAR is incredibly diverse. NASCAR is one of the most diverse organizations you could ever find in America. Yes, the people that might drive meant there's only one African American driver, but when it actually comes to NASCAR, guys, the diversity program that gives internships to multiple minority groups, so many minorities work in NASCAR. It's really wonderful to see. And we're going to continue. I know this might be uncomfortable to talk about, or you might hate it, but look, NASCAR Racing 24/7 Facebook page, 3.7 reactions, 1.2 thousand comments. If NASCAR bans the Confederate flag, I will stop watching. Tired of those erasing history from their hurt feelings. Now, the Confederate flag is mostly frowned upon everywhere in America now, because what the Confederacy was back in the 1800s was that they fought for the South, the Civil War, the American Civil War, and what they mainly fought for was to make sure slavery was enforced, because slavery was such a massive thing in the South. It ran everything, the economy, everything that was going on in the South. It was based on slavery. You needed to have slavery enforced. If you walk up to anyone today, I would assume, hopefully, even those old white folks, you would say that slavery is bad. You don't want an African American to be enslaved by a white man. That's just, not how it works anymore. It was like 2 centuries ago, but not now. That's what the Confederacy was. Now, a lot of NASCAR fans who bring the Confederate flag to the racetrack, it's because they're from the South. They love their traditions. Whether it's Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, whatever, Florida, you're from the South. It's part of your history. It's part of your state's history. It's part of your history. Maybe your ancestors fought for the Confederacy, whatever. And so that is why you have that Confederate flag. I want to show something right here. What did the Confederates fight for? Slavery was a major cause of disunion. Although there were opposing views even in the Union states, most Northern soldiers were mostly indifferent on the subject of slavery, while Confederates fought the war mainly to protect a Southern society of which slavery was an integral part. That is a massive, massive point of the Confederacy and the Confederate flag. The Confederacy also lost, so if you still want to wave that damn flag, you're supporting losers, so just saying. Now, the reason why I'm choosing Facebook and choosing this post is because, again, Facebook, a lot of the younger generation, we don't really use Facebook. I used Facebook when I was in middle school, which was 2010 area. So that's when I was using Facebook. But, even the younger generation now, kids who are in high school, middle school, right now, they don't use Facebook. They use different social media platforms. But a lot of older people use Facebook. So that's why I wanted to go here. So Bubba is a publicity stunt. Maybe you should go talk to his boss about the Confederate flag. Remember, most of these attacks are actually on Bubba Wallace, who's an African-American driver, the only one who has stated that he wants the Confederate flags at the racetracks banned, because that would be the next step forward in order to respect everyone. This is not just, give black people privilege. No, this is to respect everyone, because the Confederacy is very, 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 very offensive to African Americans, because it basically says, hey, you are my slave. Let's go check on Howard. Who is Howard? Yep, exactly what I thought. Every single one, exactly what I thought. Right here, way ahead of you. I quit watching when they stopped racing and started selling ads. What? Well, that and the boring restricted plate racing bumper to bumper. But it's great to put on if you need a nap. All right, let's look at Kevin. Kevin has a picture of his dog. Okay, so there's Kevin. All right, let's keep looking. Okay, so here we go. Again, same thing. Old age, white. Let's keep moving on. Mary, a.k.a. Karen here, is Darlington is all about the Confederate background. Get a life, Bubba. Don't like what NASCAR doing or has done. It's time to leave the sport. Richard Petty needs to give him the boot. Let's quickly check on Mary here. Okay, Mary, let's see who you are. You're a Chase Elliott fan with about 240p pixelated quality. But you're up there in age as well. One more thing, Mary. Richard Petty also wants the Confederate flags banned at the racetrack. So I think when Richard Petty needs to give him the boot, no, he's not. Richard Petty is going to stand by his driver, because he also agrees the Confederate flags do not belong at the racetrack. Bubba Wallace needs to be suspended indefinitely for his remark. It's racial and no different than what Kyle Larson did. Think about that. Kyle Larson dropped the hard N-word, apologized afterwards, loses his job, gets suspended indefinitely, but because Bubba Wallace is wearing a t-shirt and standing up for a movement for his African American people to get changed so they could get equal rights in police brutality and the way the government treats them and how the police treat them, that Bubba Wallace needs to be suspended, and that it is also racist, that what he is saying is racist. John, this is John Menard, or however you want to pronounce. And, well, there's John for you. I mean, I don't know how much longer I can do this, to be honest. I mean, that comment just blows me away, to be honest. I couldn't believe it when I read that. Bubba on his way out of a ride at the end of the year. Notice, these are all the top comments. I'm not missing any comments here, guys. These are the top comments. 3.7 thousand comments here on this page. And this is littered with just fuck Bubba, basically, you know? Because my beliefs don't align with yours, and I'm ignorant, and I don't understand what he's standing up for. Still, after all this time, you know what? I don't believe it. I'm just an old white folk that lives in the South. Because they're not educating themselves. I'm not saying they're straight out racist. I'm not going that far. I don't think any of these people, to be honest, are racist. They could be if they went to a Walmart and they just straight up saw a black man and they probably just, I don't know, said some I don't think they would just say something to his face, right? I don't think anyone here is racist, but this is systematic racism. All NASCAR fans, you go to the NASCAR page, NASCAR on Twitter, this is what the general public sees, right? You go to a Facebook page, this is what the general public sees. This is the stereotype. So let's keep going. This might be uncomfortable to watch, but I don't really care because, again, we are educating ourselves here. What is going on? Bubba is on his way out of a ride at the end of the year. Before all this now, and he is trying to make any way to stay in. We'll use this as far as it will take him. So apparently he's using the race card so that he can stay in a ride at the end of the year instead of thinking about something bigger. Yes, that's what his intention is, okay? Let's look at Carl. Let's see. Carl. There you go. Exactly what I thought. All right, let's keep going. One more nail in the coffin, NASCAR coffin. It's already on life support. Now, this is directly attacking NASCAR, which, again, NASCAR, just because they're not filled with white folks and they don't, do what they used to do back 40 years from now where everyone in the sport was white. No, NASCAR is joining the modern day, Jackie, and it looks like Jackie, she's still living in 1960. Is that why he hasn't won shit because of that flag? Too freaking bad. If you don't like it, don't race. Go work at Walmart. That is good old Donald. Let's check in on Donald. How's he doing? There you go. There's Donald living in 1960. The same thing. Old, white, uneducated, ignorant, possibly could be racist, but I'm not going that far. They don't know. They truly don't understand. They're just hopping on their damn Facebook page because they don't understand what the hell is going on. And again, I'm not skipping comments here, guys. Can we get America? Oh, there we go. There's a positive comment. Dale Earnhardt Sr. Yes, Dale Earnhardt Sr. is great. If NASCAR continues down the slippery slope of politics and pandering to a group who have never been a fan and never will be, all they will accomplish is driving true fans away that will not come back. So what this person is saying right here is that if you are not white, and if you're not a Republican, and if you don't believe, you don't live in the South, that you're not a fan. So I am, my parents are from Iran. I was born in America. I am Iranian American. I'm not a fan because I apparently I'm a Democrat or something or whatever. Politics, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This has nothing to do with politics. You could be an independent, be a NASCAR fan. You could be a Republican, be a NASCAR fan. You could be a Democrat, be a NASCAR fan. You could live in goddamn Britain, be a NASCAR fan. By the way, there are a lot of people who watch this channel that are from the UK who are NASCAR fans. People from Brazil who are NASCAR fans. This has nothing to do with politics. Nothing. NASCAR is racing. That's what this is. But I almost turned it off. And if it continues down this path, you can color me gone just as the NFL did, because apparently the NFL pissed her off. All right, that's Lloyd, right? Let's go look at Lloyd. Let's see what's going on here. Apparently my computer is slow. There you go. That's Lloyd. I honestly don't want to keep going on this because you guys kind of get the point now. Hopefully you do. Every single one is the same. Every single comment is the same. Same age, same color, same ignorance. Now, that is something that's what the general public sees, and I'll show you that in a second. So, SportsCenter, this is where the general public's going to be, because everyone follows SportsCenter, right? So, SportsCenter rarely ever covers NASCAR, and they talked about the Bubba Wallace situation, and how LeBron, Richard Sherman, and Jamal Adams all took notice on how they respect it. Richard Sherman said... Let me move my camera here. Richard Sherman said, "This has changed. This fan base isn't the most diverse or inclusive, and it takes a lot of courage to take the stand in the sport." That is someone who doesn't watch NASCAR. Richard Sherman does not watch NASCAR. He has a generic view on the sport. This is the generic view. The fan base isn't the most diverse or inclusive. He's right. There are a lot of fans that are part of the minority group, but there are also a lot of minorities that don't watch NASCAR for this specific reason because they have these stereotypes in their head. Also because they just don't like NASCAR. They don't like racing. That's the main thing. But also, some people just get turned off by it. And Richard Sherman, that is what he thinks, that's what NASCAR is. And that is the stereotype NASCAR always had to deal with, and it gets thrown on NASCAR. NASCAR is an organization, like I said before, is one of the most diverse organizations, in America. Incredibly diverse. But that's what Richard Sherman thinks. And, that's the fan base. Now, let's go to the generic population that does not really watch NASCAR. I can't wait to see all the old white conservatives cry. I mean, because that's what, they think. Incoming. This is what they think. When you think of a NASCAR fan base, this is what you think. You don't think of me. You don't think of an Iranian American that's loved NASCAR since 4 years old. And, I might be white, but I'm not white privilege. Well, actually, no, I am white privilege. I have white privilege because I'm white. But I'm not from the South. I'm not, based in this kind of way. I'm a little bit different than that. I'm a minority group. MAGA people reading this. See, these people make it political. The generic public, this is what it is. As a younger NASCAR fan, let me say that Sherman's comment is almost entirely true for the older generation of fans, the ones that we're trying to weed out. The generation of fans that I'm a part of are fully in support of Bubba and NASCAR statements. And this right here, Falcon Wielder, who apparently he follows me. Thank you, Falcon. But this right here is exactly my point. This is the problem NASCAR has with the older generation, that is mostly NASCAR's fan base. The older generation, that consists of NASCAR's fan base. There's a lot of young fans, and that's what NASCAR's trying to go for, but the older generation of fans is still there, and that is what they believe. They are ignorant, and that is the ones we have to get out, to be honest. And that sucks, because NASCAR as a whole relies so much on that older generation. I think the average fan that follows NASCAR is in the 50s. So this is a little bit of a problem when they are so ignorant and so uneducated about what is going on. And the generation fans that I'm a part of, he's probably just around my age, are fully of support of Bubba and NASCAR statements. And that's also important to reiterate. NASCAR is standing with Bubba. They are not on the other side where they do not educate themselves. They are fully behind standing with Bubba and understanding his position and African Americans all around the world that they get treated differently. That's what this is about. Has nothing to do with politics. Has nothing to do with the flag. Has nothing to do with Confederacy. It is purely about black people having the same rights as everyone else. Just the Constitution states. Like everything America is based on. That's what this is about. I think I'm going to end it there, to be honest, guys. Because I feel like I've made my point. I feel like I've showcased everything I've wanted to showcase on how there is multiple issues here within the NASCAR fan base. So many of them that is coming to light right now that must be changed. And sadly, NASCAR can't do anything about it because they've already done everything they can. They're standing with Bubba. They're making sure that they support him. They're making sure that they support the entire sport. All the drivers came out in support. The team members are in support. The owners are in support. It's the fan base, the older generation of fans who for some reason are still so ignorant when it comes to this cause. And that is what this needs to change. So hopefully I got my point across in this video. Comment down below if after all of this you still have something that you disagree with me on about anything that I said, then please comment down below and let me know why you disagree. Do you disagree because you still think it's about politics? Do you disagree because you still love your Confederate flag? Or do you disagree for a different reason that I might not be aware of and I'm not educated on? So educate me on why you disagree. If you agree, comment down below what you agree about. Comment down below, are you proud of certain people within the sport, certain fans, what's going on and everything? And let me know. I know this has been a long video. I know it's probably hasn't been the most fun video to watch, but it's a video that had to be made because this is something that is a massive, massive problem. And hopefully I could raise a little bit of awareness on it and that we can see there's still so many fans out there that just don't understand. And it's a real shame. If this is the last time you watch one of my videos and you made it this far, then thank you for watching over the journey. If you don't want to watch me anymore because of this one single video, take care, have a great life. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. If you liked the video, hit the like button. I guarantee there's going to be a good amount of dislikes on this, so don't worry about it. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you are not already. Links in the description down below. Stay safe, take care, and have a great day. So peace out.